And it's interesting there you mentioned, the mindset thing and how, people get an education, go into a job, and they're just doing that repetitively without, additional training, whatever. But it all boils down to what you mentioned earlier, probably about the environment they grow up in as well. If they are sort of programmed with just to go to school, get a career and get a good job and work through the ladder in a corporate structure like that, that's all they get to know in a way. So to some extent, to actually break out of that cycle, it takes maybe some life-changing event that would happen to people. Either they lose the job or something happens and they have a light bulb moment to say, maybe there is another world out there, which is what you followed in the end, the entrepreneur side, but to seek training to actually get better at it. And that word mindset is key, isn't it? Yeah, the mindset.
Yeah, and it's your podcast is business, wealth, and mindset, and they all go hand in hand, but they all mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
So my mindset is that if I set myself a goal, I will achieve it.
Yeah.
I had people telling me at school that I wouldn't achieve things, and I went on and I achieved them.
Yeah.
Not to prove them wrong, although in my more immature side, I was happy to prove them wrong. But it's more to me, I'm challenging myself. That's where my mindset is.
Yeah.
It's that if I think I can do something, or I know I can do something, then I do it.
Yeah.
But I also will not start something that I think, I'll give that a go, because I've tried that in the past. And the things that I've given a go at, they've either gone wrong or I've never completed them. And I learned, again, I was very fortunate. I learned that at a young age. So I then said, right, well, if I'm going to set myself a goal, or if I'm going to commit to something, I'm going to commit. And I'll go all in. The business side of it, I've been surrounded by that my whole life. I've been surrounded by some incredible business people. I still am today. I'm very fortunate with, the circles that I'm around. There are some just incredible people that I know, and that have been really willing to help, which was another thing 20 years ago. The property industry was extremely closed, and it, everything was a secret. Whereas now everyone is actually understanding that it's a lot more powerful going together, moving forward together with someone rather than on your own.
Yeah.
And then I guess the wealth side, that is down to a perception of what you see wealth as. Again, going back to that pre-programming, a lot of people link wealth with money.
Yeah.
But I had more money in my early 20s, and I was going skiing. I had a sports car. I had no responsibility. I was living the dream.
Yeah.
And the happiest I've ever been is right now.
Yeah.
And I don't have that sports car anymore that I had for over 20 years. I don't go skiing every year, but I'm fortunate. I found the right person to be with. I've inherited 2 stepsons that are like friends, and I'm doing what I love.
And that's another key as well, isn't it? Because when you find that sweet spot of doing what you're passionate about, what is meaningful to you, that's when you find the inspiration to actually take the action to do things, isn't it? Otherwise, people will just procrastinate or not do anything, and they wonder why nothing is happening in their life. It's probably maybe they haven't found that particular thing that they are passionate about, or at least find a way that maybe they can monetize it, or if it's just a pastime. So that word is key as well. Isn't something that you love, you like, it's meaningful, and you do it intentionally, because just like you say, sometimes it's not just about the money. As we grow older, maybe we get to Is it more wisdom that we get? We get to understand life in a different way, and we know there are other things that are more important than money. Obviously, money, gives you a lot of options to do stuff that you do. But
yeah, absolutely, and I don't detract for that. You need to put a roof over your head. You need to put food on the table, and I like fast cars. I always have done. That won't ever stop. But right now, it's not a priority.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've been big on my entire life is helping other people.
Yeah.
And that is more important to me. I've helped a lot of people, a lot of friends in the past. Some of that's been to my detriment, but I've committed to helping them, and I see it through.
Yeah.
But there are lots of people that I'm in a position that I can help with my experiences so far.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that want to get into business because they aspire to do that, but they haven't had that fortunate surroundings like my brother and I have had, where they, like I said to you earlier, it's normal for us to be around entrepreneurs. So I don't have a problem. I go to a networking event, throw me into the room with 200 people, it does not faze me. You tell someone they've got a networking event to go on a Zoom that's got 20 people in it, and they are freaking out.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah.
And I find it quite upsetting that someone that's got that passion to be able to follow that through is getting a blocker so early on.
Yeah.
And they're not being given that opportunity to grow and to shine.
Yeah.
When you can see that in someone. So that's another reason why I wanted to free up my time, is so that I could help others to be able to kind of chase their dreams and make those reality.
Yeah. So talk us more about that vision of yours in terms of helping people. What does that look like in the future, and also the community that you're building as well? Because there's a lot more exciting things you're doing around that space.
Yeah. So I mean, who knew getting into property would end up with me doing so many things that aren't in property?
Yeah.
I mean, there are lots of challenges that go on. I was on one last year. Again, challenges create opportunities. They're an opportunity for you to grow. They're an opportunity for you to get more exposure to a wider network.
Yeah.
To get your message out of what you're doing or what you'd like to do. So again, if you're not taking those opportunities, then you're not going to be able to operate in that area. Off the back of one of these challenges, I set up a Facebook group, because one of the things that I noticed, I've got a bit of a knack, and again, I have no idea where it's come from or how it's ever happened, but I tend to look at different industries and I can see different gaps in the market.
Yeah.
But I have to sit back on the sidelines and not be completely immersed in it. So, which is also quite handy for me, kind of where people are struggling. Yeah. Because I'm detached enough from them, I can look there and say, well, look, I can see you're doing this, or I can see you're doing that, or why don't you tweak this or tweak that? And it's, there's a load of that advice that I've sat down and I've thought, do you know what? If I was sat on the other side of this table right now, I'd be telling me this, that, or the other. Yes. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that. But yeah, so one of the things that I noticed in the property was, and again, funny enough, I was literally talking about this an hour ago to someone else. Not on another podcast, you'll be pleased to know. And I said, the property training that I did, one of the key phrases that everyone in that industry uses, and actually the more you think about it, the more you've had conversations with people in business, is that they always ask the exact same question. And it's one question that goes across all industries, all kind of training: start with the end in mind. And it just always resonated with me, because you then kind of reverse engineer everything. And when you first hear that phrase, you think, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll get you, reverse engineer this. You really have to think about it to understand it. But I sat there going, there's all these people in the property business and they've all got their blinkers on with property. And a load of them are really struggling with the business. But we're sat in these trainings, or we're sat listening to speakers, or on webinars, or listening to podcasts, or reading books, and everyone's saying the same thing: start with the end in mind. Property business is at the end. Start with the end in mind. All of these things in your mindset can help you trigger and work out that actually, the property business, loads of it is mindset. You get loads of knockbacks, but you also get loads of wins if you keep going. But you've got to have the right people around you, you've got to have the right mindset, you've got to have a sheer determination to keep going. And to be honest, that's not exclusive to the property world, it's everywhere. So I thought, do you know what, I do love property, I'm passionate about property, but I also love business, and I love interacting with people. So that's where the idea of the business-driven community kind of came in. It was a bit of a play on words because I love cars. Give me the excuse to put driven in there somewhere. Also because I want to help drive people forward in their businesses. By whatever means possible. Because the other thing is that everyone's got their own individual needs or their own individual plans. There's no one size fits all. Lots of people want to be guided down a path, whether it's in the property industry or another industry. They want to know which path to go down and to get there as fast as possible. But part of traveling the path is going through the highs and lows, learning how to deal with that. That's just a reality. Because if I said to you, I will give you a free rein next 12 months, I'll make sure you have no problems, no hassles, no dramas. Loads of people will go, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have that. But what they're not doing is they're not looking after 12 months time. Because after 12 months, when they hit a problem and I go, no, nothing to do with me, that's your problem now. Because I give you 12 months of goodness. They have no idea how to deal with that problem because they haven't learned. So it's trying to strike a bit of a balance of learning from other people's mistakes so that you can avoid them, but also understanding how to get past them.
Brilliant. That's a really good community, isn't it? And there's a lot of people there with different skill sets, different things that they can offer each other. So in the form of in the spirit of networking and collaborating, there's such a lot of value within that if people can actually express themselves and tap into that, there's lots of benefit as well. So where do you see it? Like if you take it 2, 3, 5 years, what's your vision of where or what should be happening?
Well, originally I wanted to just help as many people as I could, and because I hadn't put much thought into it, I thought I'd just see where it goes. And the more I kind of sat down and thought about it, I thought, right, actually trying to do this on my own is not a great idea, because I've run businesses on my own before and it's very lonely and it's very tough. So I've managed to have a contact with a chap called John Foster, who also is a bit of a petrol head, and I connected with him last year. We ended up reconnecting because obviously everyone gets busy, even during COVID. And we kind of reconnected through another friend of ours, and we got chatting again. And I said, well, look, would you be interested in being involved? Because I'm like you, I'm really big on mindset. I think it's massive. It's a massive problem, but it can be a massive solution if you're open-minded, or you open your mind up. And sometimes people can do that on their own. Sometimes people need help. John Foster, who runs the community with me, he is a business systems expert. So he helps people grow their businesses and the systems that you need to run a business, right from a very small basic business up to ISO certified companies. So It's got a really good range. And like you said, the business driven community group is full of lots of different people from all different backgrounds. There are quite a few property people in there because obviously I'm in property, that happens. But there's also a lot of people in there that are providing other services that anyone can use. But again, all those people in the property business, they're in business.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's designed to help people out. But what I really wanted to do, and this is where I was speaking to John, is he asked me a similar question. And I said, I want us to be able to provide a space for people that have got business experience like us. Yeah. The opportunity to help other people. If I started accountability last year. I'd never really had an accountability partner for 20 years in business. But my eldest stepson is 23 now, and he has a mentor. And he is going big guns, and he's still at university.
Wow.
You know, what could we have achieved 20 years ago or 25 years ago if we had mentors? Yeah. Some people did. You know, I had no idea about mentorship then. I had no idea about accountability. I had no idea about coaching. Yeah. And I had a completely different mindset as well. I didn't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for that. It costs money. I need to make money. But actually, if I'd had that coaching and mentoring and I'd paid for that, I would have gone out and earned more. So I could have driven my business further forward. Yeah. Having done that. So, you know, there are all these kind of old stock phrases, speculate to accumulate, but I don't want to spend any money to make money. Yeah. That's where, you know, you're saying one thing and then you're thinking another. Yeah. You start to process that all, and you know, one of my phrases is slow everything down to speed it up. Because everyone's charging at full rate of get on your phone now. You can be messaging someone whilst we're on this podcast. Yeah. You know, and you could actually be messaging half a dozen people, or you could be messaging everyone in your friends list on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whoever. You could be talking to 3,000 people now. Wow. And everything happens quickly. Send me an email, call me now, text me now. You know, if you slow it down, give yourself a chance to breathe a bit and just take stock of where you've come from, what you've done, what you've achieved, what skill sets you've got. See how those can transfer across to whatever industry or business you want to get into. Yeah. And that's, again, part of the idea of the group is that most people, they're caught up in their own lives. Yeah. And it needs someone else to say, well, look, actually, you've really achieved doing this, that, and the other. Or if you just tweak this or just tweak that, or what have you changed in the last 6 months? Nothing, and everything's still the same. Yeah. Right. It's because you haven't changed anything. Change one thing and see what happens. And I guess that's probably why COVID was a bit of a way for people to actually slow down as well, isn't it? And take stock.